You know that feeling, right? Every spring, we spring forward, we lose an hour of sleep, and that next Monday morning just feels brutal. Today, we're going to dig into the real, hidden cost of that lost hour. I want to start with this amazing, almost cosmic perspective from a character in our source text named Zoran. He's basically asking, what do we even mean when we say we've saved time? It really sets the stage for this clash between our man-made clocks and our natural biological ones. I mean, it's just 1 hour, right? So why does it feel like you've been hit by a truck? That groggy, out of sorts feeling, it's more than just being tired. So what is actually happening inside of us that makes this one tiny change so incredibly disruptive? So before we get into the nitty-gritty science, let's just sit with that feeling for a second. Because that shared experience, that collective groan on Monday morning, it actually points to a much, much deeper biological truth. This description from Fletcher, another character, is just perfect. It's not just about wanting more coffee. It's that your brain literally feels out of sync, like a piece of software that's lagging behind reality. It's a profound sense of disorientation. Okay, so let's get to the why. Why do we feel so out of whack? Well, it turns out this isn't just in your head, not at all. It's happening deep within your brain and a part of your body that has been keeping time since the dawn of humanity. All right, let me introduce you to the star of our internal show, the suprachiasmatic nucleus. Yeah, it's a mouthful, so let's just call the SCN. Now, this thing is just a tiny cluster of neurons, but make no mistake. It is the conductor of your entire biological orchestra. And how it works is actually pretty beautiful and really simple. It all comes down to sunlight. When that morning light hits your eyes, boom, it sends a signal straight to the SCN. And the SCN's main job, it tells your body, hey, time to wake up. Stop making that sleepy hormone, melatonin. It's nature's alarm clock, and it sets the rhythm for your entire day. And this is the scientific name for the chaos that happens when we mess with that system. It's called circadian dysrhythmia. It's a fancy term for exactly what Fletcher was talking about, that awful feeling when your internal clock is completely at war with the clock on the wall. The orchestra metaphor from the source is just perfect for this. Imagine all your body's systems, your heart, your digestion, your hormones, they're all playing in perfect harmony. But then daylight saving comes along and tells the conductor, your SCN, to suddenly speed up the tempo. What do you get? Absolute biological chaos. But here's the thing. This internal chaos, it doesn't just stay inside us. Oh no, it spills out into the real world, and the consequences, well, they're actually pretty shocking. Okay, get ready for this, because this number is staggering. That Monday after we spring forward, there is a 24% increase in heart attacks. Let that sink in. Just 1 hour of lost sleep puts that much stress on our cardiovascular system. It's unbelievable. And the fallout doesn't stop there. The data is crystal clear. We see a spike in traffic accidents because, tired people are driving. We see more injuries at work, productivity at the office just tanks, and they even tracked a rise in cyberloafing, which is just a great term for what we all do when we're groggy, mindlessly scrolling online instead of working. And this brings us right back to Fletcher, who puts a human face on all that data. He almost got into a serious accident. His brain slogging through treacle. That's a perfect description of what impaired cognitive function feels like. It's a personal risk that becomes a public hazard really fast. So this raises the million-dollar question, right? If this whole thing is so clearly bad for us, why in the world are we still doing it? The history behind it is, oh man, it's weirder than you think. You'd think this was based on some deep scientific wisdom, right? Nope, it was literally proposed by a guy in New Zealand who wanted more evening sunshine to collect bugs. I am not kidding. Then it got picked up in Germany during World War I to save a little bit of coal, and somehow this temporary bug-collecting, coal-saving idea from over 100 years ago is still running our lives. Okay, but what about saving energy? That's the one argument you always hear. Well, it turns out it's a total myth. Modern studies show that whatever tiny amount we might save on light bulbs is completely wiped out by people cranking up their heat in the new darker mornings and their AC in the longer, hotter evenings. It's a wash at best. And Fletcher just hits the nail on the head here. He basically says what we're all thinking. So wait, we're putting ourselves through all this pain for bug collecting?
in a wartime measure from a century ago? When you put it like that, yeah, it makes absolutely no sense.
So the bad news is we can't just snap our fingers and get rid of daylight saving time. But the good news? The source material gives us some fantastic, practical ways to fight back and help our bodies cope. And honestly, they've got a pretty awesome name for the strategy.
They're called the Dragon Trials. How cool is that? It frames it as a challenge you can actually win. So step 1 is the gentle glide. Don't just shock your system. A few days before the change, start going to bed just 15 or 20 minutes earlier each night. Easy. Step 2, the sun's embrace. The second you wake up, get some bright, natural sunlight in your eyes. That's the master switch for your SEN. The other trials are all about being smart with your body's chemistry. Maybe a little low-dose melatonin before your new bedtime, taking a quick 20-minute power nap if you need it, and being really careful with that afternoon coffee. It's all about working with your body, not against it.
And really, that's what this all boils down to. It leaves us with this one massive question. Our biology, our very DNA, is wired to the sun. We've evolved for millennia to follow its rhythm. So shouldn't our clocks do the same? Maybe the whole idea of saving time was flawed from the very start. After all, you can't really save time from itself.